In a world where everyone has an opinion about who you should be, your greatest power lies in listening to the one voice that matters most, your own. Because the truth is, when you ignore that voice, you don't just lose direction, you lose yourself. And if you're watching this right now, maybe that quiet whisper inside you is trying to speak a little louder. So take a moment, tune out the noise, and listen closely, because this story could be the turning point you've been waiting for. And hey, if you feel this message resonates with your heart, like this video. It sends a signal to YouTube's algorithm that this is helpful content, and it will help recommend it to others who need this message right now. You can be the reason someone finds their breakthrough. Before we dive into the story of Elias, let me ask you something deeply personal. When was the last time you really truly heard yourself? Not your fears, not your doubts, not the voices of your parents, teachers, friends, or society, but you. That soft inner guidance we all carry within us, the one that whispers in moments of silence, in dreams, in daydreams, in pain. Most people ignore that voice. They trade their authenticity for acceptance, their purpose for predictability. But today, we're going to explore what happens when one man dares to do the opposite, when he risks everything to listen to himself. This story is not for the faint of heart. It's about struggle, fear, and letting go. But more importantly, it's about truth, bravery, and the raw, powerful journey of becoming who you truly are. If you've ever felt trapped in a life that doesn't feel like yours, if you've ever felt like the world is moving, but you're standing still, if you've ever woken up and thought, "Is this really it?" then stay with me, because what you're about to hear may not just inspire you, it might just set you free. Elias had always been the good son, the perfect student, the dependable friend. From the outside, his life looked enviable. Top of his class in law school, engaged to a woman everyone adored, and on the fast track to a prestigious legal career. But deep inside, something was screaming. It started as a whisper when he was a teenager, during those late nights with a guitar in his hand and lyrics pouring out of his heart. Music made him feel alive. But every time he brought it up, his father's disappointment stung like acid. Music is a hobby, Elias, not a career. So Elias buried his dream beneath textbooks and expectations, thinking he could outstudy the ache in his chest. He carried that ache like a shadow. Every courtroom internship, every exam, every perfectly worded answer was just another brick in a wall between him and the truth. On the outside, he was polished, but inside, he was deteriorating. Friends noticed the change. His fiancée said he was distant. But how could he explain that he felt like a stranger in his own skin? That every decision he made felt like a betrayal to the boy who once dreamed of stages instead of courtrooms. Then one night, something broke. It was nothing dramatic, just a quiet evening, alone in his apartment. Rain tapped the window like a metronome. The power flickered, and in that moment of darkness, he reached for the guitar in the corner. Dust-covered, forgotten. But as his fingers plucked the strings, he remembered. The way the chords wrapped around his soul. The way his chest opened with every note. That night, he wrote a song, not to impress, not to share, but to survive. He recorded it on his phone, just once. Raw, imperfect. He uploaded it to a music-sharing platform under a pseudonym. He went to sleep with no expectations. What happened next was beyond anything he imagined. The next morning, his phone buzzed non-stop. Comments, shares, likes. The video had gone viral. People from all over the world were responding. They said the song felt like it told their story, that it gave them the words they couldn't find. Some said it gave them hope. One comment simply read, "This saved me." Elias stared at the screen, emotions crashing over him. Pride, fear, confusion. Could something he created, something honest, really matter that much? But fear crept in. He hadn't told anyone. His name wasn't on the song. What would people say if they found out? He tried to ignore the growing need to tell the truth, tried to keep living both lives. Law student by day, anonymous musician by night. But then came the message that shattered the illusion of choice. "Your song stopped me from ending my life tonight. Thank you." That line burned into his soul. It was no longer about music. It was about meaning. It was about listening. Listening not only to himself, but realizing that when we share our truth, we give others permission to find theirs. That night, Elias made the scariest and most honest decision of his life. He walked away from law school. He ended his engagement. He packed up and moved to a city where no one knew him, and he started over. It wasn't easy. He played on street corners, slept in hostels, lived on tips. But every night, he sang like someone's life depended on it. Because maybe it did, and people listened. His voice grew, his audience grew, and so did his peace. Not because he was successful, but because for the first time, he was himself. Elias's story is not just about music. It's about truth. It's about what happens when you stop ignoring that persistent nudge in your heart. When you realize that the safest path may actually be the most dangerous, because it kills you slowly. Comfort zones are silent killers, and society has mastered the art of numbing your intuition. Listening to yourself is not about rebelling. It's about remembering who you were before the world told you who to be, what you loved before someone shamed you out of it, what your soul burns for when no one's watching. But listening to yourself is terrifying, because it means letting go of validation. It means you might disappoint people. You might lose some relationships. You might walk into the unknown. But what's the alternative? Living a life that's not yours. When you listen to yourself, you begin to heal. You discover what makes your heart beat faster. You realize that success without authenticity is a prison with velvet walls. You find a tribe that resonates with your truth, not your image. You were not born to follow a script. You were born to write your own. It starts small. It starts with listening. That discomfort you feel when you're doing something that doesn't align with you, that's your soul speaking. That energy you feel when you talk about your dreams, that's your spirit igniting. Don't ignore it. Don't delay it, because the cost of silence is your life. Here are a few ways you can start listening to yourself today. 1. Create space for silence. Turn off the noise. Take time each day to sit in silence. Journal, meditate, reflect. Your inner voice needs space to be heard. Notice what drains you versus what fuels you. Pay attention to your energy. What activities leave you feeling empty? What leaves you feeling alive? 3. Reconnect with your younger self. Remember who you were as a child. What did you love? What did you dream about? That child still lives in you. 4. Stop asking for permission. You don't need validation to be who you are. You just need courage. Take one step today. Write the song. Start the blog. Apply for the course. Record the video. Make the move. Your future self is begging you to begin. If this story moved something inside you, if it stirred a voice that's been quiet for far too long, don't let it fade. Turn the volume up. Start small. Journal your thoughts, sing your song, paint your vision, speak your truth, and most importantly, listen to yourself. You never know who you might save, starting with yourself. If this story touched your heart, inspired your mind, or sparked your soul, make sure to like this video, because when you do, it sends a signal to YouTube's algorithm that this content is meaningful. It helps more people discover it. People who may be in a silent battle right now, waiting for a message like this. You could be the reason they find it. Also, subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you never miss another powerful life lesson. The algorithm might bring us together, but it's your voice that will carry you forward. Leave a comment below and tell me, what is one thing your inner voice is trying to tell you today? This isn't the end. It's the beginning. Your beginning. So go ahead, take a deep breath, and listen.